Assalamualaikum everybody, welcome to another video of CSE Wanted, and today we'll be talking about arrays. In our last video we dealt with arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division and all of that. We even covered for loops. Maybe I did cover loops. We spoke about for loops, how we did that, while loops as well. And today we'll be talking about arrays. Probably in your curriculum, array is the last thing you need to deal with, and after that you're kind of done. And also you will be dealing with data types and objects, something called human tracing in your, if you're from BRAC, that is. Okay, so let's start by making a class. I'm using Dr. Java here because you guys are probably familiar with this, but I will obviously and definitely recommend using NetBeans. This guy over here, it works with packages, but this guy is awesome. Like, it will make your Java life easier, and even C++ if you install the plugins. Anyways, but still, for your sake, for wanton stuff, I will do it in here so that you find like, oh, I'm home. Anyways, so let's start by making a class. Arrays. Now, data types and objects, I'll explain that as we go through. For now, let's keep it limited to classes. Okay, I'm doing it from Sketch, so if you're not used to this, please focus. Static void main, you have a bracket, and it's a method which takes an array of strings, and it's an alias. Okay. Now, classes, methods and objects, this is a part of your syllabus. I'll write one thing for you though. I have already completed videos about classes, methods and objects and data types on my CSE 111 tutorials. You will find it in this channel, and first two videos you will just find, it's better if I show you, right? Wait. It took so long to come. Okay, this is the outlook of the channel, and you will find this is a part of your syllabus. Before your finals, you will be dealing with these two. If you say this, your Java concept will be very strong, because here you will learn about classes, methods and objects, how you create objects out of them. Okay, so that's all. Now let's get to work. So you remember CSE 111 on this channels. Okay, today let's have a revision of for loop. So for loop was something you had to take an integer 0. Maybe it start from 0, or maybe it would start from something, and it will go for a specific condition. For example, it will go until a is smaller than 10 maybe, and you have to increment it or decrement it. Okay, now there is one thing, isn't it a plus plus? What's the difference between a plus plus and plus plus a? Okay, this is one thing I need to show you, but wait for now. Let's just revise this first. System.out.println. I'll need to copy you a lot, man. Println. I feel sleepy. I'm being honest now. Okay. So this is supposed to print I feel sleepy 5 times, and 9 times, and it will start from 0, so it will be printing 10 times. So that's math for you, and let's check it out. We may make mistakes, you know. Okay, let's save it here. Boom, it's done. Okay, now let's run it with F2. As you can see, I feel sleepy, 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 a lot, 10 times. Now I can't count like that, so I'll just include an integer which will tell me count, and let me know when you're what. So this will include an extra okay, you can do that. And here we will add plus a string, a space, or maybe equals plus count. Should be okay. Boom, it's done. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so I don't have to count anymore, except I started from 0. So that's why it started from 0. Now focus. I don't want this to happen. Had there been a count first, then this problem would not have happened, because count is 0. Now you can just say sir, you can just, or bro, don't call me sir, really, I'm not that old, you know, or it's not that teachers are old, but just call me bro or something, you know. You can even call me by my name, that's what's it. Anyways, so you have 0 and you can turn it into 1, and or you can get the result. So why are you so bothered about it? Well, I can turn it into 1 and do the result, but there is one thing that matters over here, this thing called increment, and I want to show you some stuff about that. So I will need this guy a lot now. We did our good revision of for loop, so you can leave, and I'll use this a lot of times. Let I feel sleepy be there. Maybe not. Just remove that. Count, 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 count. Now there is one difference I want to show you guys. What will happen if I do plus plus? Okay, let's just do this. Better that way. You're like, hey, will these two should print the same thing? Yes, they will print the same thing. Count plus plus is actually equal to count plus 1. We already know that. But how can I make a difference? I can make a difference by doing this. Or you can just keep it like this. Okay. Some of you are thinking, what are you doing? You wrote I feel sleepy, then you wrote count plus plus, and then you're removing count plus plus. You wrote. I'm changing my code rapidly, right? Some of you are irritated by it, but some of you, as I'm changing the code, you're printing the output on your head. Okay, he did this, that means this should be printed. Oh, he printed this, he did this, and now you're outputting everything. You're like compiling in your own and having your own outputs. Now that's awesome, and you will need that for CSE 220 and CSE 111 or 221, you know. In my videos of CSE 111 and 220, I go very fast, and anybody will, like in your teacher will go even faster. That means they won't give you time to like think, okay, this happened. You'll just have to see the code and you'll have to print the output on your head. That's how fast you need to be. If you go to the further courses, even I'll argue when you go to 111, you won't have time to like say this. Okay, 1 minute of bragging. I did this to motivate you. And now let's see the results. What's the difference? Okay, so it was 0, right? Count plus plus means count equal to count plus 1. So isn't the output of this supposed to be 1? But here you can clearly see a 0. And then you can see a count. And this is giving you 1. So I told you that count plus plus is equal to count plus 1. That's why when your system out print line operation or system out print operation is finding this count, he is printing this, he or she is printing this out 0, and then this operation is happening, and that's why when you print it again you're getting 1, and this I have turned it into back to 0, which is its initial state. Now what happens if I do this before the printing? What this will do, you probably had a wide guess about this. What this will do is it will do the addition first and then print count, and this will do the count printing first and then do the addition, and the difference is quite easy to predict. Now some of you are thinking, okay, so the print would be 1 and 1 now. Focus, is it really 1 and 1? And my laptop is doing a lot of operations, so it's pretty slow today. Oh, it did. Okay. Oh, but I see 2 over here. Why is there 2? Because plus plus was done over here first. Okay, it was 0. Then you got 1 over here. The count became 1. And then immediately it became 2. Now some of you are finding it confusing, so I'll just remove this one. And one way to remove it is commenting it out. Compile again for an hour or 2. Just kidding, for 1 minute, because I have lot of operations going on background, so it's taking its time. Okay, it's done. Now let's run it. Okay, so let you understand that now, right? It was 0, it became 1, but first it had to print out 0 because the operation addition is done later, and then the count was not changed, so it printed 1. Then the count became 0 again, so it was 0, no printing, and then system out print, but before you print please do an operation of addition first, and so it was 1, and then count was not changed, so it's 1 again. Okay, that's one increment decrement thing. It is very crucial for your tracing, that's why I took my time doing this. But today we'll be discussing about something new to you. If you know this, it's okay. We'll be creating something called an array, and how you do that is you just put these weird boxes, and in the same way you can just create it. For example, I create for I, you have to create new int this, and number of boxes will be this. What on earth is this? If I want to show you, let me demonstrate this for you. I have created a box more like this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and guess what? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops, I have one extra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, fine, 11. For that, all I have to do is I'll have to change this 10 into 11. And each of these boxes will have an int. Okay, int value. Every single box will have one int value, and together I can hold 11 int values in one box, in which is called I. You will learn details of this in 111. No, I didn't explain arrays in 111, so I'll take my time explaining it over here. So I, which is actually an address, you don't have to understand that now. What you need to know is I is actually an address. Just remember that I is an address. Address, for example, if this is your RAM, you know what a RAM is, right? 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM in my phone. No, not that RAM. Okay, you can say that RAM as well, but the computer RAM or the device you're using, the RAM, there are several spaces. So you are actually taking 10 or 11 slots simultaneously in your RAM. so it will be like 11 until, just imagine I draw 11. So 11 spaces are fixed, they are one after another and 11 in size. Okay, I need to change this because otherwise it will confuse you. 11, or let's keep it 10. I'll draw it again. So back to my drawing. What if I want to do a tower of double? Then I will write double I equal to new double 10. I'll show you some stuff. Okay, double. For those of you who are wondering what double is a data type. And there are primary 8 types of data types. You have int, you have double. Notice that Dr. Java turns them into blue if it's a data type. You have char, you have boolean, which is just true and false. You have float, you have long int, which is long. You have short int, which is short. How many did I write? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Okay, so these are the 8 primitive data types. What? Primitive data types. Hey bro, you wrote something called string. What is that? This is a data type, but it is actually a class. We'll learn about that. For example, int comes from integer class. Okay, similarly we have some classes. Well, you don't need to know about that now. These are the data types, and for the bits there is something called bits. If somebody asks, this is 32, this is 16 bits, this is 64 bits, this is 32 bits, this is 64 bits, this is 16 bits, and this poor guy is 2 bits probably, and oops, sorry, this is 1 bit. Boolean is 1 bit, float is 32 bit, and double is 64 bit. 64. Okay, these are some basic knowledge about any programming language. If you want to use these data types in C++, all are same except boolean is bool. In C++, boolean is bool. It's black over here because this is not a C++ compiler. So if I want to create a double array, then I mean an array of double data type, then I will just write new double, and you know, then 10, 20, whatever you do, it's up to you. So in this way I can create all types of data types. You can create a data type of char, which is actually a string. String, which we call string, is actually an array of chars. You know that? This is literally equal to string. This is what string is. Okay? Anyways, now let us get back to business. So what's the operation of an array? Imagine that I have a box. Now I want to, let's just reduce the numbers, okay, to make life easier. For example, 4. Let's just keep it simple. So I have 4 boxes. 0, 1, 2, 3. Why am I counting from 0? This is how array index is counted. It starts from 0. Okay, so 4 boxes, that means 0 to 1, n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1. Okay, now I want to put 2, 3, 4 and 5. 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. So how do I do this in code? I will say, Mr. I came here for your first floor. First floor? Okay, then write the address. It's 0. And I want to put 2 there. Also, I want to put 3 in your first floor. I want to put 4 and I also want to put 5 in your third floor. Okay, and he says okay, but can you prove it to me that you're accepting what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you all these things and you're accepting what I'm doing? I said, sure, why don't you just print them out? Okay, that's a good idea. My system of print plan is gone. I'll have to write it again. Oh man. Anyways, that's how life is. Fine, I'll write you again. So you have I0, and of course I'm not going to write it again. I'll definitely copy it. How do you even think I'm going to write it again? That's more like it. 1, 2, 3. This will prove that if our proposal was accepted or not. Okay, now let's see. Oh, so you did obey me. I told you to write 2 on your first floor, you did. And on your second floor, you did. Third floor, you did. And also 5 on the last one. Isn't this thing, this output, same as the figure I drew? You know. I told you that I want to keep 2, 3, 4, 5 in indexes 0, 1, 2, 3. That's exactly what it is. That's what I did. This is the code version of it. There are other ways to do it, but for now just understand this, that this is what I did, and this is how you address this. So I want to print the index 0, then I'll write okay, print I of 0. Now remember I told you I is an address. Now I'm going to show you why did I say that. Suppose I have another array int j, and I say okay, j, you're equal to I, you're the same address as I. Now this should fix this. Now I have made all of them into j. Focus. Let me increase some spaces so that you can see that all of these are now j. But did I input anything in j? No, these are all I. Okay, j looks, I'll show you something. Now j looks similar to I. I just have to completely change it. So let's replace it with a. Ta-da! Now you can clearly understand the difference. Okay, so I changed the values from the address I 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But now I'm trying to print the array A, and I said okay, array A, you're the same address as I. What will it print? I didn't put anything like A0 equal to, A0 equal to 1 or 2. I didn't do that. I just said okay, you're the same address as I. Now what do you think it will print? Whatever it prints, let me write out some codes for you because it takes too long to compile. The same thing can be done using a for loop. So for, let me create another array over here, int, who's left, b, new int 4. Okay, now I don't want to write all of this again, so I'll just say okay, for I need you to do me a work. Please do me a favor, do whatever you want, start a counter from 0 because my index starts from 0, so I cannot take I equal to 1. You go ahead until you're equal to the array length. Now what is b dot length? B dot length is this 4. B dot length means the length of the array. So if I write 4 over here, then this is 4, and I want you to increase, or increase like this for a change, and please input something. Why don't you just input yourself? You input yourself on that. Why is I over? Okay, I will explain that later. B. We'll take another counter which starts from 2. Now you can always take user inputs using scanner. I probably showed you that. If I didn't, I'll show you again. Counter 20. Counter starts from 2, and then you will have counter. Of course, I need to include counter plus plus. Okay, very good. That's the work my for loop will do, but we will not focus on that. And there is of course another way, but I'll just, for the sake of your understanding, I'll keep it. I'll just have to compile it again later. Sorry for the noise, guys. Sorry for the noise. I have nothing to do about this, really. An error? Where? Oh, okay. Compile again. You know, I wonder, horns. Like, people love, I don't know why, we just love beeping horns again and again. Like, you have this car, and as, just like breathing, you keep pressing the horn. You see one bird flying by and you're like, I don't know why they do that. It's so annoying, especially when you're trying to make a video like this for the sake of, you know, survival, and then this guy saw a bird and he's like, get out of the way. Horn is for free, and so I'm going to beat it until it ends or something. Okay, I still have a problem because I didn't name the data type. Just for fun, I'll do it. I'll make it double. Prepare for trouble. I'll make it double. Anyways, did I already use counter? What is it saying? That you already used variable counter, but I didn't create any counter. Anyways, should work now. I don't think there will be a problem. Oh, I already defined I. Oh man, so print it to J. Some of you are like, oh bro, you also get you have that yellow line, that means you can do Java? Guys, no matter how far you go, you will have this error. You know, coding, it's like, for example, I forgot the data type. This is a very casual error. And then I forgot that I created an I, because we use I for counters, and now I have created an array with I. This happens, you know. I can just pause the video and check the compiler, and then I can resume the video, or you can say resume, whatever, and then show you that I have no errors. But I don't like doing that. I want you, because I have seen in the lab, and there's this fresher, and he's very motivated to code, and he gets this yellow line, and he's like gonna punch his computer, and why did I get this yellow line? I don't like this. Okay, this is an intentional error. Before I explain what happened to that kid, I'll tell you that you cannot convert double into int. You can actually, and I'll show you that. You can mention the type you want to convert it into, and then this will compile. Okay, so as I was saying, and this guy is going to beat this computer to death, but he can't beat it because it's a property of BRAC, and they're gonna arrest him for that probably. I'm just kidding, but they will at least fine him for him. But he's like, I won't code again, and then he puts the headphone on and he's gonna watch a movie. It's okay to get this yellow line. It's okay. You will get errors. The best programming skill is to know how to solve your problems. If you get the yellow line and you are able to fix it on your own, then you're the real deal, man. Just like this. I'm not saying I'm the real deal. You have to be like this. Like, don't just smack your computer in the back like, you piece of something. No, it's okay to get errors, okay? If you can get the errors fixed, your 111 you will get 4, in 220 you will get 4, inshallah. I hope so. Anyways, now let's see. Basically what we did is, we didn't print this part. This is for sake of later. You can see 2, 3, 4, 5 printed, right? Even though I put these values on the array I, when I'm writing A, you're still getting that output. Why? Because I told you that this I is actually an address. So when I'm saying, okay, A, you're the same address as I, for example, you have my address, the address to my home, maybe a restaurant of KFC. So you have this two type, Dhanmondi's KFC, just consider that, or maybe say Paris. You want to go to Paris. Now you can go to Paris through flight from America, and you can go to Paris from a flight from Germany. It's the same Paris, it's the same city, but you're going in with two different addresses. Well, America will come from one side, and Germany will come from one side. Doesn't change the fact that they will both come to one same Paris, and there they will find that Eiffel Tower. It's the same thing over here. You can come to the same address, but you will find what is there. In this address there is 2, 3, 4, 5 in these indexes. So in 0 there is an Eiffel Tower, in 1 there is some museum, in 2 there is something. Even if you come through A and you are saying this is the same address as I, if you go to 0 you will still find that Eiffel Tower and the same thing. So that's how this works. If you create B, C, D and you equal them to I, you will be able to get the same thing. So that's why I told you that A and I is an address. This is very important for your tracing, the tracing thing you do. You better pay attention when the array addresses are changing. Now one more thing. Over here I'll need to use my old system out print line, and I'm going to explain what I did over here. What I did is kinda complicated. I took a new array B with the same size. I took a counter which is of double data type, and I used a for loop that it will start from 0. B dot length is the length size of this, and the counter and J both will be increased. So when B reaches 0 index, J index, you will put the counter there. So I have to draw this loop for you. When this loop starts, let's do tracing over here. This is the first tracing I'm going to show you. J, you have BJ, and you have counter. Okay, counter, imagine I'm wrapping counter. So when the loop starts, the initial conditions, BJ, first you have to know what J is. J is 0 now, and counter is 2 now. So who is at BJ? BJ in B of J, J of B actually. So in the 0 index of B, in the J index of B, J is 0 now. So in the 0 index of B, I'll have to put the counter which is 2. And since it's a double counter, I have to convert it into an int counter and then put int into 2. So I will put 2 over here. This is basically the first loop count. And then you do J plus plus counter plus plus. Your J becomes 1, your counter becomes 3. Guess what? In the J index of B, I want to put counter. So you will be putting 3. In the same way, you will be putting 4. In the same way, in the last index, you will be putting 5. And the counters will be 4 and 5. But when J reaches 3, you see array.length is 4. B.length is 4. So J is greater than 4? No. When it becomes 4, the loop will stop. Well, 4 is not greater than 4. It's not. It's an error. So the loop will stop and you have these results. So if I print this loop, I should get 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's see if that's true. And I want to remove this part because I'm going to show you something awesome. Okay. It's done. Let's run. See? 2, 3, 4, 5. I told you, right? I hope if you didn't understand, please watch that part again and you will understand, inshallah. Now, leaving everything, I'll just say one thing. Guys, if you don't want to do any of this, you know what? You can, okay, let's just skip the loop, okay? You can just put 2 curly brackets and say 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just one line. I'll remove everything else from here. everything else, no counter, nothing, everything else, all this for loop will do is print, okay, and it's going to be I, and print I j. I is the array, j is my index counter, so that I can go to this index. And you have this one line or 3 lines of codes. And you know what, we were working for like 30 and 40 minutes creating different types of arrays to get 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with this 3-line code, do you know what your output will be? 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. So we were doing all sorts of nothing. We could just write 3 codes, 3 lines to get this thing, and you were bragging for 30 minutes to get the same output. Some of you are thinking of finding me in PUBG and eliminating me. I don't play PUBG, so you cannot find me. Some of you are thinking of assassinating me. Anyways, this is really true. You can do this stuff with just 1 line. All the things we did using for loops, using other lines, you can just do it by writing 2, 3, 4, 5. This means I'll take 4 values of the size will be 4 and put 2, 3, 4, 5 in 0, 1, 2, 3 respectively. That's all. It's done. You don't even need this one. It's the same thing. Okay, so that was all. I took my time to explain arrays to you, and if you want to know about classes and objects, you will have to watch the video of CSE 111, first 2 videos of CSE 111. This is for your syllabus, and we went through a lot of stuff. We did some tracing, and I wish you best of luck, best of your luck to the final exam. And I don't do flowcharts because I really hate flowcharts. So you can do that on your own. As long as you understand the coding, you will be able to do anything, inshallah. So best of luck to you guys, and happy surviving at the point of survival.